It is fantasy draft season, so I am bringing you my 3 breakout candidates for 2023. All right, my first candidate is Brandon Aiyuk, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. And here's the reality. He is on the verge of a breakout season. He had a mini breakout last year. He averaged 13.4 fantasy points per game. He set career highs in targets, receptions, yards, and touchdowns. And he did it with some rotating options there at quarterback. Now, that might be the same deal with 2023 to start the season, but the 49ers look like they are locked into Brock Purdy once he is able to get onto the field long term, and I think that helps Brandon Aiyuk quite a bit. He has been one of Matt Harmon's, favorite wide receiver route running darlings for the last couple years, and I think we're going to see that continued dominance when it comes to his route running and football IQ in 2023. He is going to assert himself into that top 15 wide receiver conversation. And for dynasty leagues, man, if you have Brandon Aiyuk, hold on tight, because we don't even know if he's going to be a 49er for the long term. And if he isn't, your value is going to keep on going up. Let's talk about my next guy on the list. It's running back for the Buffalo Bills, Damian Harris. No, I'm just kidding. It's James Cook. Now, the best way to win at the running back position is you find a high-powered offense and you find a running back who has versatility. They can do it on the ground and through the air. Enter James Cook. Last season, Cook was 3rd in yards per touch and 1st in breakaway run rate. Obviously, he wasn't this high volume guy last year. This year, he might not be, in the top 10 in volume overall as in opportunity on the ground and through the air. But what he does is he gets the ball in his hands and he makes plays. The concerns about Damian Harris joining the team, those are real. That's a definite concern because he's probably going to vulture some touchdowns. He's going to, be in more often than we'd hope, probably on the early downs. But thus far in the preseason, what we've seen is that Cook has been dominating snaps with the starters. If we look at just week 2 of the preseason, he saw over 70% of the rush attempts and 70% route participation. That combination is going to win fantasy leagues. He is one of my favorite values at the running back position right now. You can get him, pick 70, 75 in your drafts if you're drafting on, ESPN ADP, and add a running back to your team that should have RB3 locked in, potentially RB2, and maybe some blow up RB1 weeks. You're going to want to buy James Cook. He is a true league winner at the running back position. My last guy I've got to talk about is a guy who's starting to get a lot of hype. He's starting to see the usage people were hoping for over the last couple of years. It's Antonio Gibson for the Washington Commanders. Now, let's look at ESPN ADP. He's going as RB35. Okay, there's been a lot of up and down feelings about Antonio Gibson. Is it because of his performance? Let's look at how he's ended the last 3 seasons, okay? Last season, his worst season, fantasy production-wise, he was the RB27, higher than RB35. The season before, RB12. The season before, RB13. He is in a much improved offense now with this Washington Commanders team that has Sam Howell, who actually looks like he might be a thing this year, and even longer than that. They've got Terry McLaurin, they've got Jahan Dotson, they've added offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy from the Kansas City Chiefs, and let's not forget, Bieniemy turned Jerick McKinnon into a top 20 fantasy running back last season. Jerick McKinnon, who has shown flashes throughout his career, but has never really been that guy. And did I mention that Antonio Gibson is 6'2", 220 pounds, and his competition is a fine running back in the NFL, but he's largely a plotter, and it's Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson is an early down plotter who really isn't the fantasy production type guy. He's not going to do much when it comes to, the passing downs, and he's honestly not even someone who I would trust on the goal line. He wasn't super efficient there, and Antonio Gibson's actually bigger than him. This is an easy pick for a breakout running back, especially at his ADP, because he's literally never been as bad as RB35, and he's going into a much better situation in 2023. Buy Antonio Gibson at his price and win your league. All 3 of these guys, put them together on a roster, and I promise you will not be upset. Thank you guys for hanging out, and don't forget, go over to 444, subscribe, get access to articles, tools, rankings, customized DFS content, everything that you could possibly need. Save some money, win your leagues, use the promo code YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to be kind, do good, and we'll see you next time. Peace.